Katari. Welcome to Native Journey. Welcome to Mushuk Nina, the New Fire. And welcome to Yanantin Kui, Healing Sexuality. In this video, I'm going to talk about love. What is love? How do we experience love today? And how can we learn from Native worldview to have a better love life? I'm going to share with you different words, different philosophies that come from different native nations that will help you get a better and much greater understanding of love. So, do you want to thrive in love? So what is love according to a shaman? What is love according to the native worldview? I think that every single culture would agree on one single thing, which is love is the most powerful energy there is, and with it we can change the world. And I certainly believe that, and I certainly believe that love is the most important feeling, the most important energy, the most important concept we can have. But let's go and review what we understand, or what the modern world understands as love. Okay, so we have to say that the word love has a definition, okay, and that different cultures, different languages, different belief systems will give a different set of values to what we consider love. Now, we might talk about unconditional love, we can talk about unrestrained love, and there we will find lesser values and lesser restraints and lesser expectations regarding love. But we have to understand that love can be just a feeling, it can be an energy, and not necessarily is it linked to expectations, to values, to any other type of limits. Okay, so I think it's the most complex word we can try to describe. I mean, it's just so essential, it's so important, yet so difficult to define, so subjective. It's so much a subjective word and concept. So I'm gonna share with you a little bit of some concepts that different native people have, different native nations, native cultures have regarding love, and it's very good to help us, understand love, because it helps us see different viewpoints and different values regarding love. So the first one I'm going to share with you is from the Maya. The Maya, the Mayas, right? The Mayas from southern Mexico and northern Central America. The Mayas, now let's remember that the Maya is not an extinct people. Okay, sometimes we tend to think that the Mayas existed in the past. That's really a bad thing to know, or to not know that the Mayas still exist today, and there are 32 Maya languages that are still spoken. So in one of the most spoken Maya languages, which is Yucatec Maya, or Peninsular Maya, and by the way, if you want to learn about Mayas, check out the Maya Cosmology course on Udemy, which I made myself. It's 39 hours, not 29 hours of class, and you will learn everything there is to know about the Mayas over there. So check it out. But I'm going to share here the word Yah. Yah is the word. It's a word that in Maya and Yucatec Maya can be used to either say love or to say pain. Isn't that amazing? The same word describes two different things, two things that we would think they are very not related, but in fact they are, at least according to the Mayas. So Yah means pain, or means love. It depends on the context and the other words you're using around the word Yah. So you can say, for example, Hatsaya, which means a person, a man, that heals or that soothes the Yah. So this would be the word for healer. In Maya, a healer is a Hatsaya. It's a man that soothes, that heals the Yah. Okay? So Yah is an energy that, when it's channeled properly, is helping us heal, is healing us, is making us feel good, is making us grow, is making us be better, is affection. So affection is a good thing, it's a good energy. And it's something that is just in nature everywhere. Without it, we just wouldn't be alive. I mean, if our mothers didn't feel love for us, we wouldn't receive the things we need to grow and to be better people and to be healthy and to be alive. So love and the Yah channeled in a proper way is very important. So this is very interesting because when we have a situation with a loved one, we sometimes tend to feel, disappointed, and we this energy, this love energy that we were feeling with them or to them, just turns into pain. And that is very common, and that's common in all the cultures. That is something that can happen in any culture. The thing is that native cultures in Mesoamerica, they had a culture, they had a knowledge system that helped them work with that, and that's something that we don't really have. I mean, we go to psychologists and therapists, and they kind of have some very recent studies, some very modern understanding of what's going on, but it's really weak, I believe, compared to the profound ancestral knowledge that native people have. So love is an energy that can be channeled and can be transformed and can be healed. And there are people that can do that. They can turn the pain into love again. It just depends on how they channel your energy, how they work with you and with your love energy. I'm going to describe that a little bit ahead when I get to the Andean word for love. But let's go now with the Mexica, the Nahuatl word for love, or you can say the Aztec word for love, which is Tlazotlalistli, or Tlazotlalistli, which is the word for love. Now, I've been reading quite a lot about this, and there's an association with the word tlazoli, which is also the word for crap. Okay, there's also a word quitlatl, which means also kind of like shit. But the thing is that in the Mexica worldview and in the Toltec worldview, crap and shit are not bad things. They're not things that are worthless. Quite the contrary, they are the very basis of life. They are fertility. Crap to fertilize soils. So Tlazoli is related to the word Tlazotla and to the goddess Tlazolteotl, which has been described as the goddess of love, the goddess also of sexuality and of pleasures. And I think that is a very limited definition to the goddess Tlazolteotl, which is, by the way, the goddess that I work with the most. She is the goddess that walks with me in my Mexica birth chart. So I'm very familiar with her. And Tlazolteotl, just as the Maya goddess Ixchel, is simply the goddess of femininity, of the feminine. Okay, so yeah, love can be very feminine. Affection, nurturing, can be maybe very feminine things. Sexuality, sexual pleasure uh, world, you know, down on the ground, carnal pleasures. That is maybe very feminine thing. Now, in native worldview, feminine is earth-based and masculine is sky-based. So it is the masculine that seeks to go above and beyond the world pleasures and the carnal and the body and the physical things. And sometimes we believe spirituality as just a very masculine thing, and that's a very patriarchal thing, a very modern thing, as the thing we get from modern spirituality, from religions, or even from modern atheism, where we see things, earth things, carnal things, as bad or as mundane. We even have that word, mundane things. So, and that wouldn't be the case for a native worldview. Mundane things can be very sacred things also, and that's, we can get into the discussion about the snake and everything, but let's not go so much into that. So, tlazotlalistli, there is a word for affection. There is a word for that feeling we have towards people of love and giving affection. And we fill with affection. When we say tlaskamati or tlazolkamati, we say, I fill my mouth with affection. And that's the way that we say thanks in Nahuatl. Now, let's separate that concept from the concept neki and muna. Neki in Nahuatl, or neki listli if you want, is wanting, desire, and muna in Quechua is also desire. I want. So how do you say in many native languages, how do you say I love you? You would say actually I desire you. And from our modern perception, we would say, oh, that's such a mundane thing to say. Okay, I desire you. And we in Spanish, for example, give a very different meaning to te quiero, I want you, and te amo, I love you. Okay, and there's a kind of like the boundary between those two concepts is not very defined. And the thing is that we see desiring somebody as sometimes a bad thing, and that's not really the case. Desiring somebody is really can be very sacred, and we have to come down to the earth and realize that we are bodily beings, that we have physical necessities, and that is natural, is good to desire. Okay, and it's just plain and simple and sincere. I desire you. I desire your body. I desire your soul. I desire you as a person. I want you. Okay, so love doesn't have to be such a masculine earth, a sky thing. It can be a very earth thing too. Okay, keep that in mind. And finally, we're gonna go with the word munaiki, which is a Quechua word that describes what has been described as conscious love. Conscious love is doing what's best for your loved ones. Sometimes it is not giving them what they want. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes you want to avoid hurting your loved ones because you don't want to cause them pain. But if you become conscious, for example, if your loved one is addicted to sugar and you want to take sugar from him, obviously he's going to go into pain. He's going to suffer pain. He's going to, feel bad. He's going to cry, your kid, if you take sugar from him. But then that is the best thing to do. So that's really the concept of conscious love, of monaiki, and it's something that we don't really practice that much because we've been trained that to be so physically attached, to love being such a temporarily unconscious thing, and that's what we have to work with. We have to make it a more conscious thing, and that means growing away from attachment, and remember that growing hurts. So we come back to the Maya word, yah is also pain. So pain is not bad. When we grow, when we're little, our bones hurt, and that's because we are growing. Okay, so let's not associate pain with lack of love. Let's associate them in the same thing. That's what we would learn. And one last thing is the law of reciprocity. Because when we speak about unconditional love, we tend to think that unconditional love is good. But then there is a law of reciprocity. We do need to receive back what we give, and that is a very native concept right there. And it's not something that we are taught from the modern world, which teaches us in this, modern new age spirituality to all you have to just give and not expect anything in return. Wrong. You do expect something in return. There is a reciprocity. Now, you can be very stupid about your reciprocity. I mean, if you define it what you are expecting, or if you have very limited expectations of what you want to get back from what you gave, or maybe you are expecting more, getting back more from what you gave, or expecting something that is defined, maybe that thing is going to come back to you in another way. Okay, but you are, I mean, you can't just erase your expectation to receive back. You are going to have that void, that space, that thing that you gave, that energy that came out of you, and is going to go around and it's going to come back to you, and you are waiting for that to come back to you. So it's like growing crops. Would you go out and grow crops so you don't eat anything, or so that everybody eats and you don't eat? If you don't eat, you're gonna die. So uh, keep this in mind. The law of reciprocity is very important. So it's not all about just giving. We actually do need something in return. So if you have any questions regarding this video, this subject, or anything else regarding love, sexuality, or native spirituality or shamanism, please leave them in the comments, and I hope to see you in another video.